He has put a little bit of distance behind him, but, you know, they always say it, you can't outrun the radio. Might even be able to outrun the helicopter sometimes, but you can never outrun that radio. I've just been told before we get to Topanga Canyon, we're actually going to go through Woodland Hills. So as soon as we get back into the city, maybe out of this canyon area, more like towards Ventura Boulevard, that type of spot, they might have a little something for him right there. Who knows? I'm just speculating. Don't have any insight on what's going on. But he's still moving along, and we say he. We've seen in the past they've turned out to be female drivers, so we're just saying the suspect right now driving this vehicle impaired through the canyons this evening, making some choices that would lean towards somebody who has impaired choices, cutting people off, going through red lights, made that crazy right turn from the left turn lane earlier on. So we're seeing it makes sense why they want this person stopped. This car just continues to move along, though, a little faster than what the posted speed limits are. I'm looking out the window and running the camera. I can see some curves coming up, but he's riding those brakes quite a bit. So I'm wondering if he knows this area and or if there's actually some traffic ahead of him. Well, there's always that option, but you also have to remember there's a lot of other traffic that might be coming through there. They might be waiting for him. We don't know. As far as options go, you'd have to be pretty good with this area. There are some turnoffs. A lot of these are dead-end streets, very residential up here. So if he does take one of these turnoffs, he might just put himself into a dead-end area. Going back to areas that we've seen that so often in the past, and he made just a giant circle this evening. Starting out, like Lena said moments ago, Roscoe in the 405, took us out towards Santa Monica, down PCH, on to Topanga. We're going to be in Woodland Hills here very shortly, so we're going to be getting closer to where it started. That light you see right there, that's an LAPD helicopter. They still have units behind them, lights and sirens. Those two that have been following them ever since this thing started. There they are in that wide shot. So they are close enough by, and they might just be keeping their distance just in case this guy pulls over, and then they are close enough by where if he starts to run, they can just get there and take the person into custody. Right now, we see lights on inside the car. Got to wonder what he's thinking. What's really scary about this is it's one lane, one direction, one lane, the other direction. If he crosses the line, or it's so dangerous. The cars going the other direction are so close to this vehicle. So that's what I personally am worried about right now. But anyways, we're in the Woodland Hills area as we're making our way back to the city or the valley. And sure, when we get back to the closer to Topanga Canyon, we'll see some other officers from LAPD at least there to join the pursuit. Well, he's going to have Ventura. There's going to be a lot of other little smaller streets before that. Mulholland, I haven't been really paying attention. My bad. So I don't know if we've passed Mulholland. I'm pretty sure we have. So he's pretty much, we have not yet passed Mulholland. So you might take Mulholland. There's that option. Right now, though, we're still kind of just winding our way through the roadway or through Topanga. Some of those, so I'm not going to call them hairy, but there's some pretty sharp hairpins coming up here shortly. If there's traffic, if he's been blocked in, something might happen right there. Looked like he was hugging that emergency lane there for just a second. That kind of weaving around, that type of driving is what got their attention to begin with, and that's what got this thing going. Some vehicles pulling over right there. Don't know if they're hearing the lights and sirens or perhaps seeing them in the rearview mirror, doing what they're supposed to do. This guy, though, just keeps on moving as we're making our way, winding through the canyons this evening. Not incredibly high speeds, but it's definitely any kind of movement is enough to hurt somebody if there's a collision. He's still swerving. The sharp turns are starting to they're getting closer and closer to him. Mulholland will be coming up here in just a moment or two. I'm pretty sure off at Topanga Canyon, Mulholland isn't one of these major crosses, but it'll be something that we'll be able to see. We're probably, I would almost say that we're in Woodland Hills right now, or very close to the Woodland Hills area. His speeds have slowed down, so he might know this area. If he plans to jump out somewhere in here and run into the darkness on the hillsides, that could be his plan too. There are less and less homes in this little pocket right here as we're making our way pretty much downhill now. That's the other thing too. We've shifted from climbing the hill to dropping down the hill. So we're making our way back into the valley. That light that keeps coming across right there, that's going to be LAPD. They are keeping an eye on it. They are making the calls. They are letting their friends, their brethren know that this vehicle is making his way closer and closer to them. What's going to happen when they get there? That's remains to be seen. But this pursuit continues this evening. It started in Van Nuys, went through Santa Monica, Topanga Canyon's where we are right now, Woodland Hills, and this car continues to evade officers, but moving slower and slower this evening. Probably not because of a problem with the vehicle. Probably maybe he's starting to realize, maybe I should just pull over. This is a little too dangerous. And of course, when you're getting into traffic, these people out here obeying the laws, creating an issue for this guy this evening trying to flee police. Yep. Yeah. Very little traffic indeed, and you can see right here we're getting to those hairpins, and there is a lot of traffic because people have to slow down when they get through this area right here. So you can see the LAPD vehicles getting closer, maybe not by their personal design, meaning they're not speeding up to get closer to this person. This person actually slowing down, so the distance is closing as well. That vehicle still moving along. There is a traffic in front of them, and a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic for what we've seen. For the most part, he's had nothing. So one car would be a lot right now. That SUV, that Mercedes SUV right there, finally just kind of pulling over, and maybe he's actually just going home. And but LAPD, they are right behind him. Lights and sirens, other vehicles on the road probably hearing it and seeing it. And northbound Topanga Canyon, and we're going through the hairpins right now. So we're in Woodland Hills, and we're going to be starting to get a little bit closer to Topanga. Well, that's true too, and that may be one of the reasons why the officers from LAPD are falling back a little bit. They don't want people trying to pull over and do the right thing and possibly create another type of situation. I do know that the LAPD units that are behind him may be getting a little bit closer as we get out of the canyon area and we start getting back onto the flatlands out here in the valley area as we make our way into Topanga Canyon. Right now, though, they are still behind them. Lights and sirens, LAPD above them. And you can see the distance has actually gotten a little bit wider. But now the road's getting a little wider as well. And we'll see, Lena. He might pick up. We're approaching Mulholland right now, so we're going to be getting close to Mulholland in just a moment. But we'll see. we'll see what's going to happen if he makes his way onto the freeway, takes Mulholland. He's got plenty of choices as we're getting closer to Topanga Canyon. One of them that we don't want to see, we're using the wrong side of the road. Yep, once we start. Peter, that person on a motorcycle gave him, let's just say, a verbal cue that he did not appreciate him driving towards him. The car's still continuing on, though, as we're moving down. We're still on Topanga Canyon Boulevard, and we're going to be making our way into like more of a city area, more. And it's the traffic. See, I just can't believe that he keeps running along the wrong side of the road out here. We haven't seen any other cars. His view probably a little bit better, but still using the wrong side of the road to pass, extremely dangerous for anybody. LAPD still behind him. We're going to be getting closer and closer to Ventura Boulevard. We're going to see more and more cars out here. Anybody that lives in this area knows that right there by the 101, there's a lot of malls, shopping areas, restaurants. It gets very crowded out here, and especially this time of night when people are vacation. There's the spike strip. There was the spike strip. Don't know if they actually used it. I don't know if it worked, but there was that spike strip. So making his way a positive. We're understanding a positive that at least he did hit one of the spikes. So we just went through Ventura Boulevard. We're getting close to the 101, stopping all of a sudden, maybe because he's got a flat tire. Yep, that's right, and not sure what that was about. Maybe he was one of the persons he passed earlier on. Flat tires, keys are out of the car already. Hands are out, and it seems like he's starting to do his thing. We're getting a little bit of heat in our shot right there. We got to move Sky 9 just a little bit around. You can see this. Hands out, is starting to follow those directions, just doing what the officers say. It's always amazing how they just are so defiant till the end, and then all of a sudden it's exactly what those officers want. Walking around, he's getting a little bit, it looks like he's going to be getting a little bit of the last of his substance that was for his impaired driving. Out of the way as he's putting himself down there onto the ground. Kind of curious if there was somebody else in the car. We never heard if there was anybody else. But right now, getting his last puffs in. He's on the ground and laying face down. Officers from LAPD, though, they still are not lightening up. This is a very serious situation. Traffic is still moving along the other side right there. But it does seem that this is coming to an end right now. Just a matter of time before they get the cuffs on this suspect. Oh, that's right. You know, and Peter, so many of these chases end this way. Nobody's hurt. There's no damage. One person is going to go to spend some time behind bars in custody. LAPD, all the law enforcement in the Southern California area that we interact with, their professionalism is what keeps people safe. Those persons behind the wheel, those are the issues. And right now, you can see this person going into custody this evening, and obviously, it's the beginning of a 3 or 4 day weekend for some people. So chances are he might be behind bars for some time. All because just wanted to have some fun and drive around this evening. Easily could have been avoided him going to jail. Luckily, though, my point is, luckily, though, no damage to anything. Nobody's been hurt. LAPD got that guy in custody, coming to an end out here, basically on Topanga Canyon, very close to the 101 freeway. Whew. roof is right. We're pretty close. You got to go past the old Boston's chicken. Yeah, just past Ventura. That's Ventura right there. Done with me. We took the canyon. Tim Conway Jr. tweeting me, texting me. Thank you. And my wife sending me pictures of cats. I'm not sure if we're still up on the web, but if we are, this has come to an end out here. Luckily, nobody was hurt. This thing was going for quite a while. Speeds, I mean, you know, I'm not saying anything like that, but it's a Hyundai. You know, it was moving along at an okay clip. Let's just leave it at that for some time. Those driving against the traffic, though, that's what was. Every time I saw that, I was like, oh, ho, ho. So, Nicole is my wife, and they're our cats. But yeah, let's just say pictures of cats. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's up with our podcast. We got a podcast out there in the air with Stu Mundell. We had Petros and Money on the show.